Alright, y'all, what's going on? I'm back with another one, another review. This time is Raw from last night, which is Monday. Crown Jewel Go Home show, supposedly. I would think, because Crown Jewel is Friday, so why not? So before I begin, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to click this video, watch the video. Appreciate it. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell for all notifications whenever a new video go live. I don't know what the hell is up with my hat right now. Oh god, if it ain't one thing, it's something else, but who knows? It is what it is. Anyway, so let's get started with this review of what exactly happened last night on Monday Night Raw. So we start off the show with a video package showing, Roman Reigns announcing his battle with leukemia and him having to drop the Universal Championship, and what's gonna happen, and his thoughts and everything. And thank you, Roman. And yeah, my eyes welled up again this week because that was hard to deal with. It still is hard to deal with. Cancer, fuck cancer. But anyway, so we go from there to Baron Corbin standing in the ring with the Universal title over his shoulder, and he's talking about, yeah, like, I'm gonna be the best. And then he got the throwing little PR buzz words for like Crown Jewel and like, yeah, best in the world and blah blah blah. Then interrupted by Brock Lesnar. Why? I mean, I know why, because he's been advertised for Crown Jewel, but it's just like, no, man. And yeah, he's in the match with Strowman, but just no, man. Like, no, like, I don't like you. A lot of people don't like you, and it sucks with the whole Roman situation, because he was talking about having a full-time superstar as champion, being an actual legit champion for the company, as opposed to somebody who just wants money grabs and comes and goes as they pleases, and completely forgets about the entire fan base as a whole, and alienates the fan base and its company. That's what Brock Lesnar does, being this champion, in my opinion. So then from there, you go from there. Strowman comes out and interrupts Brock. Well, not Brock, because Paul Heyman. Brock doesn't speak unless he says "Suplex City, bitch." Or he got Rawr! He does one of those screaming numbers, and then Strowman proceeds to give Corbin 3 running power bombs before getting F5'd by Brock, and then that's the end of that segment. From there, we go to recap of Dean Ambrose's heel turn last week, which was like, everybody was like, oh, like, why? It was the perfect time to do it. Some people felt it was in poor taste. I felt it was in perfect taste. You play off the emotions of a real life event to further convey the storyline to the audience. So that was well played. That was well played. That was one of the that was great. That was great. So then from there, we go to the first match of the night, which is Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. More on Bobby Lashley in a bit. With Leo Rush. And yeah, I made a note in my book that, mute the TV when Leo Rush is on, because I can't stand his voice. His voice is annoying. He's irritating, and yeah. But really wasn't much to see there. Balor wins by disqualification because Leo Rush decided to get his little scrawny ass in the match and interfere. So that's how that ended. And then Bobby Lashley beats up Finn Balor because Bobby Lashley is like an angry black man. I just yeah. So it's Bobby Lashley. We go from there to see. Oh, nice little segue, because from that, after that match, Leo rushes Texas, and him and Bobby Lashley go to the back to Corbin's office, and Baron Corbin apparently announces that Bobby Lashley is John Cena's replacement in the World Cup Friday. Now, we know Cena's not going because he got the most to lose in terms of his media PR and everything, but you just announced that Bobby Lashley, well, not you didn't announce it, but it's been reported that Bobby Lashley's been working with a separated shoulder and may need some time off. So why would you put him in that tournament? If he was healthy, I'd be all for it, but he's injured, so like, that's kind of dumb. So then the first match for Survivor Series is announced, and it's personally brought a tear to my eye because I'm conflicted. Like, I'm gonna have to watch this as a neutral party, because they're going back to the format that they did years past. One night where Raw and SmackDown compete head to head to see who's better, and you got a women's champion versus a women's champions match, which they didn't have last year. Oddly enough, I don't think they did. But now you got Ronda Rousey, which is the mainstream champion, against Becky Lynch, which is like the fans' champion or the people's champion, so to speak. And that's gonna that's gonna be good. I already know that's gonna be good. Between both of their promo work, but more or less Becky's in-ring work, Becky can definitely carry Ronda in a match. Not saying Ronda can't hold her own, but Becky could, give it a little bit of extra, no pun intended, flair. That was cringeworthy. So yeah, that was announced. So then we go from there to our second match of the night, which is a 10-woman tag match. Trish, Lita, Sasha, Bayley, Natty, and Natalya versus the Riot Squad, Mickie James, and Alicia Fox with Alexa Bliss. I guess it was a nice way to continue Evolution, but it was, I don't know, maybe it was because it was back on the regular card. It wasn't. It didn't capture me too much, So, but at the end of the day, it was too long for my taste. I don't know, maybe I wasn't patient, But the faces when Natty went by submission with the sharpshooter, I believe, over Liv Morgan. So we go from there to the next segment of the night, which is. Okay, so yeah, we go to our next segment, which is Elias singing a song for Baron Corbin after he attacked him with his guitar last week, him in his face turn, which is cool because Elias is a face regardless. Even as a heel, he still gets face pop, so why not just make him a face? But then he gets attacked by Jinder, which turns into a match. The only points that really stood out was Michael Cole called Jinder dinner. By accident, because he was speeding to the Jinder dinner. Why? God damn it. You know what? I'm just gonna go through with this anyway. I guess that's what happens when you're broke. There's no reason to smile. I'm just trying to just go with the name. Fuck it, whatever. But Elias won with the drift away and the pinfall 1, 2, 3. Next, you go from there to they reveal the brackets for Crown Jewel on Friday, and from the Raw side, we got Kurt Angle versus Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley, and from the SmackDown side, you got Jeff Hardy versus The Miz and Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. So from there, from those picks, my choice would possibly be Seth Rollins from Raw and maybe The Miz from SmackDown. I can see that happening. So from there we go to the fourth match, which is a throwaway. The Ascension versus Rude and Gable versus the Authors of Pain. Rude and Gable won by pinfall with a roll-up on the Ascension. AOP attack everybody after the match. Typical stuff. We go to an in-ring segment with Seth Rollins, who's thanking the fans for supporting Roman and everything, and wants an explanation as to why Dean Ambrose did what he did. Ambrose refused. Fifth match of the night now, we got Nia Jax versus Ember Moon, showing a little preview package of what happened last night, the night before at Evolution, showing Nia Jax winning the Battle Royal and all the highlights about, Asuka and Ember and everything. So then, as the match is going on toward the end, Tamina runs in, didn't run in, but she runs, I guess causes a distraction for Nia, and Ember gets up and they both freeze, so Ember's frozen, and then Nia Jax just kicks her in the face, and she won by pinfall. It made no sense to me. It made no absolute sense at all. So then we go from there to the cruiserweights being back on Raw. Mind you, if you would have seen my video yesterday, I was talking about the cruiserweights being back for matches and all this, that, and third. You barely see them on the main roster. Lo and behold, Lucha House Party makes their debut, and they make their debut against the Revival, and it's sad because the Revival's got a Jobber's Entrance. A Jobber's Entrance, if you don't know, is where your music is not played. The team comes out, they get their little intro, but when they come back from a commercial, they're just in the ring and they announce you. So they got a Jobber's introduction, and quite frankly, they need to go back on the Indies if WWE is not going to give them a legit push. So because they deserve better than that. And Lucha House Party won by pinfall. So then we go from that match to the next match of the night, which is Apollo versus Dolph Ziggler. It was a pretty good shot, good showing. Cruz got a nice amount of time to showcase his talents with Ziggler, even though Ziggler, I don't think, wanted to put Cruz over, or was it supposed to? It was a good match. For a short match, that was a good match. Ziggler won by pinfall after a super kick. We go from there to a video package for DX and versus Kane and The Undertaker, which leads to an in-ring segment, which is a bunch of mundane, robotic, come crown jewel. There will be 3 words for DX, and I will make sure that you will never rest in peace. Dude, y'all all old. Y'all need to stop it. So then Triple H comes out while they making their last couple words, and he's like, yeah, and making, doing the old stick things, looking like dad, middle-aged fathers or whatnot, which ain't nothing wrong with that. All in all, HBK attacks Undertaker from behind, comes in through the crowd, super kicks Taker, he falls, Taker pops backs up, and DX backs away slowly like they're scared shitless. And that's the end of the show. So Raw was okay, but there's certain things. Just no Brock. The Nia and Ember storyline with Tamina is what the hell is going on there? Like, it's all promising, but it's like they're just killing it at the same time. So with that being said, Raw was okay. We'll see what's gonna happen with SmackDown tonight, because with Daniel Bryan apparently not going to Crown Jewel, how is that gonna affect the WWE title match scheduled for Friday? Is it gonna be pre-taped? Will there be a replacement opponent? Will they just scrap it? Will they do it on the SmackDown after Crown Jewel? Who knows? What's going on with that? What's up with the whole Bobby Lashley thing? What other Survivor Series matches could be slated? Especially now. Maybe this Ronda and Becky thing could, lay the groundwork for the Horsewoman versus Horsewoman storyline, which would be perfect. 2 champions on the main roster going against each other with major, having a major name for themselves, with Ronda being with the 4 Horsewomen of MMA and Becky being with the 4 Horsewomen of WWE. And now that you got Shayna Baszler, Marina Shafir, and Jessamine Duke on NXT, about to run wild over the women's division, and you could, eventually, you got 2 Horsewomen on Raw, 2 Horsewomen on SmackDown. Maybe they might do something at Survivor Series, possibly cause a Bayley and Sasha heel turn and have them jump SmackDown. And I don't know. But this Horsewoman match is definitely going to be in the works. But we'll see what else is going to happen. Survivor Series is only 3 weeks away. It's going to happen with Team Angle and Team Corbin. Who's going to get control of Raw? What's going to happen with that? That's going to happen more than likely. But we're going to get ready for SmackDown tonight. Hopefully SmackDown is going to be good. We just have to see what happens. So once again, thank you for watching this. I appreciate the time that you spent watching. Leave your comments and leave your thoughts and comments down below. This is probably going to be the worst video ever made by me, because people don't know when to keep their goddamn mouth closed. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for all notifications, and y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Ding, ding, ding.